Welcome to Mobile Car Mechanic. Today we're going to be replacing the rear brake pads on this 2016 Honda Accord Sport. This is going to apply from course from 2013 to 2017. Let's get to it. Alright, tools and parts needed are going to be brake pads, of course, a 19mm wrench or impact, and or lug nut. Got a 12mm socket you're going to need, 3/8 ratchet, brake cleaner, brake lubricant for the slider pins, a jack, a tool to wind in the brake piston, because these are wind-in pistons, either dice or a kit like this. I'll look in the look in the description from Amazon, and then some flathead and adjustable wrench, just in case you need to hold down the slider pin when you're tightening it. So, before you jack up the car, make sure you put something in front of the front wheel so the car doesn't roll back. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and get our jack out. And there's going to be a jack point right here. I'm going to go ahead and put on the jack point. Alright, we're going to take off the lugs. It's a 19mm socket. If you don't have an impact, then you don't want to raise it up in the air. You want to loosen up the lugs before jacking up the car, and then you can go ahead and remove it off. But I have an impact, so we're going to go ahead and knock them out. Alright, so we need to unbolt these two 12mm bolts, so we're going to go ahead and knock those out. Now we got them out, we can now go ahead and lift out the caliper. Alright, just go ahead and remove the the brake caliper. Just gonna have to wiggle it out. Once we have it off, we'll kind of let it sit here, and then we'll go ahead and take out the brake pads. Alright, easiest way is try and pull it out. If not, sometimes you can use a flathead screwdriver. You have these little springs, they just pop out, and they're here to help push the pads out so they're not constantly rubbing on the rotor. Alright. So that pad is okay, but it's still low. This one, on the other hand, isn't as much. So there's obviously uneven wear happening here. Well, it's not that far off, but it's still off. So more than likely it's caused by these needing to be re-greased, which we're going to end up doing anyways, these little slider pins. But we're going to go ahead and replace the brake hardware because our kit included it. So we'll just pop these out with a flathead screwdriver. Just go ahead and just get under it. And go from the sides too. Alright. That's out. Start here as well, and those are out. Now if you have a wire brush or just even a sandpaper or whatever, it's nice to clean these up. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it with brake cleaner because it's not really rusty. then you're just going to push it down until it goes in place. It can be a little difficult at times, like in this case. Sometimes it helps to have the flathead and kind of like twist it a little bit to help bend the tabs into place. Okay, it's flat. I'm using the flathead to make sure the tabs aren't touching the rotor by bending them back. If you spin your rotor and you hear any scraping, it's because this is somehow rubbing on it. So you want to make sure those tabs aren't touching the rotor. And these are the tabs I'm talking about right here. So they spread out sometimes and it makes it harder to put back into place. So when you push on it towards the bracket, it helps bring these out so it pushes in easier. Doesn't go in, it may help to bend them with some pliers. There we go. Spin the rotor, make sure it's not scraping on anything, which is good. Go ahead and put our new brake pads in. I like to match up the way that they came out of the car. So this was the outer pad, so we're going to match it to that. We're going to go ahead and put it in here. And this is the pad with the squealer on it. Make sure to match that up as well. Now it's in place. I'm gonna go ahead and grease these up because you should always do that whenever you do these, and the brake pads are wearing unevenly by a slight bit. So what I like to do is hold the boot and then try to twist it, and then there it is. Same thing here. Hold the boot, twist it. Now we'll go ahead and clean that up. Alright, now that we've cleaned it up, we're going to go ahead and apply some brake grease here, or lubricant, whatever you want to call it. And you'll notice when you push it all the way in, the little cover will actually attach itself to the push pin, so you don't have to do anything crazy, or the slider pin. You'll get some of the extra residue off here. And then now we're gonna go ahead and compress the caliper here. We're gonna need a either brake dice or those. I have a collection off of Amazon that I bought for a brake job set, which I'll link in the description. But it'll there's multiple adapters that can go to this. This is a screw-in type of caliper, so you can't compress it in a normal way. You have to twist it while it's putting pressure on it to push it in. I'm gonna go ahead and spray some brake cleaner on this too, just kind of clean it up a little bit, so the seal doesn't get all sticky. And we're gonna go ahead and attach our tool and start working on it. Alright guys, so this is the tool set I'm using. It has multiple adapters. This is great if you have multiple cars you're gonna be working on. If not, you can get away with brake dice. I already got my tip on here. So now we're gonna go ahead and focus on here. We're gonna go ahead and wind that in. So you can see the piston is turning in there. You'll see the seal slightly bind sometimes. It's okay. Just make sure it doesn't rip off. I'm going to use a screwdriver here to kind of break any stickiness here. Probably not going to do anything just because, but yeah, just make sure he doesn't rip the seal. Okay, looks like it might be all the way in. Alright, so before we put the caliper back on, we need to put these spring clips out into these little holes. So for the top, it's going to go like this. And for the bottom, it's going to go like that. Alright. So you'll notice the pad will want to push out. Just squeeze it while you're putting the caliper on. Otherwise, the pads will pop off. And once you get it enough, just go ahead and match it up to the slider pins. And then start inserting the bolts here. If you notice this is spinning, you can also use a wrench in here. I'm not sure the size, but if you have an adjustable wrench, usually these are around like 17 and 19 millimeters. Just go ahead and tighten it up. Same thing from the top. And that's it. All right, at this point, just go ahead and tighten up your lug nuts. remember, if you're using a lug nut wrench or a non-impact tool to remove these, what you're going to do is you're going to tighten them up as much as you can by hand, and then you're going to put on the ground. If you're using a regular jack, don't put the jack all the way down. Just make sure when the tire has contact to the ground and it has grip, and then you're going to go ahead and torque them down, and then you'll put all the weight. So now that we got that done, what you need to do is go inside the car, pump your brakes, because your pedal's going to go straight to the floor, and you'll pump them until you feel stiffness, and then that's when you've completed the job. Alright, you'll probably see the pedal's going to go all the way down further down, so we're going to keep pumping until you'll see the distance decrease. So you can see now I'm here when I used to be all the way to the floor. So now that's it, we're done. Thank you for watching Mobile Car Mechanic. Today we just completed a rear brake pad replacement on a 2016 Honda Accord Sport. This is going to apply from 2013 to 2017. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.